Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number.
Call 877-499-MY-TV.
The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So cancel the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money.
Call 877-499-MY-TV.
Right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $24.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $24.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card.
Call 877-499-MY-TV. That's 877-499-MY-TV.
Cancel the cable, cut costs, and get more.
Call now, 877-499-MY-TV.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow, welcome to Keeping Score, Beyond the Boardroom, Facebook, economic impact, industry relocation, baseball history, tourist destinations, an overworked general manager. We got it all here, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting perspective that Major League Baseball, $8, $10, $12 billion annually. You add the internet piece and it's up to $14 billion. And you're really not sure where they can go to hit their ceiling if they have one. Well, as this is going on, the World Baseball Congress, World Baseball Classic, heads to the second round, and then the finals in L.A. Certainly a victory for Major League Baseball as far as international is concerned. What about domestic? Well, Forbes' numbers are interesting. They talk about the average franchise value of a Major League Baseball team, well over $1.3, $1.4 billion. In 2014, there were 5 teams that were over $1 billion net worth. Now, there's over 15 teams that are worth that. How do you keep the value increasing? How do you stay relevant 365? How do you build public-private partnerships that are assets and development vehicles, not just in your hometown, but also for your spring training town? Well, in 1927, at the end of March, the Reds and the Yankees played a game over at what was called right field. It's not there anymore. But that signaled Major League Baseball's first foray into West Palm Beach. Philadelphia Athletics in 1946, 1963 Municipal Stadium, the home of the then Atlanta Braves and the Montreal Expos, and Roger Dean Stadium just up the road, opening 13, 14 years ago now with the Cardinals and the Marlins. This went from the old Baltimore Orioles spring training back in the leather helmet days when I grew up in South Florida, to now 4 teams literally within 20 minutes, and the Mets just up the road. For general managers, it is baseball perfection. 5 teams where you can basically hit a 9-iron or a long home run and find each other. And also the synergy of Major League Baseball 2 months before the Marlins start for real. It's a perfect storm. But it wasn't always that way. And the guy who's really in charge of making the perfect storm work in Palm Beach County, the newly debuted $150 million ballpark of the Palm Beaches, the general manager of this wonderful building, Brady Ballard. How was that for an intro?
I appreciate it.
Is that pretty
good?
Yeah,
that was good.
iHeartRadio, an app so powerful it holds 20 million songs from 450,000 artists, thousands of the best live radio stations, custom stations, and stations created just for you. It's anywhere and it's everywhere. Millions of songs, thousands of stations, one free app. iHeartRadio is that easy. Download the app today or listen online at iHeartRadio.com.
Are you a business owner or an individual who owes the IRS? Then be prepared to write down an important phone number. Do you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes? Do you need to file back tax returns? Are you dealing with bank levies and wage garnishments? It's time to deal with your IRS problem today. Call Certified Tax Representation now. Certified Tax Representation, Inc. represents clients just like you in all 50 states. They will contact the IRS on your behalf the same day that you become a client, and you can become a client. client immediately. It's time for you to face your IRS problems. Think about how great you're going to feel when you're represented by a company who's an advocate for you, who knows the law, who also will contact the IRS the same day you become a client. Call today for your free, no-obligation consultation. Call now, 1-800-999-1064. That's 1-800-999-1064. Not all cases are typical, and some may not qualify. The consultation is free, and so is the call, so call right now. 1-800-999-1064. That's 1-800-999-1064.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Calling all motorheads. It's time to rise up and pay homage to the Freak Nation. Or just flip your fat radio on to Speed Freaks every Sunday night at 7 Pacific on the Sports Byline USA Network. Join me, Kenny Sargent, with Statman and Crash Gladys for a freak of a good time as we drop in on the biggest names in motorsports, from IndyCar to NASCAR, the drags to Supercross, and a big-time rock and roll band from time to time. That's Speed Freaks, Sunday night to 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern on the Sports Byline USA Broadcast Network.
And the guy who's really in charge of making the perfect storm work in Palm Beach County, the newly debuted $150 million ballpark of the Palm Beaches, the general manager of this wonderful building, Brady Ballard. How was that for an intro?
I appreciate it.
Is that pretty
good?
good?
Yeah, that was good. Thanks.
Now, let me just start by saying, we'll get this out of the way first. This is for an international audience. And you may not know baseball, but you know economic development, and you know the international field that the former Expos and the Nationals put on, in addition to the Houston Astros. But you also may not know something else that everybody has in common, which is when you get a deadline and ready for the opening of a facility. Ground was broken on November 9, 2015. Hotel tax funded, but this place was under the gun from day one. You need an adroit, entrepreneurial, used to be young, now very old, general manager who can coordinate all of this. And by the way, I've known you for a little while, and those raccoon marks over your eyes, it's equivalent of having a kid, but this is like having a kid, isn't it?
It definitely deserves all the attention of a kid, I think, and there's probably just as much crying and other things that have occurred too, but no, it's been a fun project.
The debut was a couple weeks ago. We'll run this for a long time, but so this is the next in a shared model between teams that said, we're going to go 50-50. It used to be that Major League Baseball teams wanted their own and only their own for the trade secrets. Now a shared facility is kind of the model, isn't it?
Yeah, it really has become that. The stadium's the centerpiece, and each of their teams, in our case the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals, have their own respective areas, but basically it ensures that we have a game every day. So we're opening up this inaugural year with 31 games in 30 days.
As if it's not hard enough to open a house that costs $150 million to please one tenant. You've got two tenants, owners, with equal say. First of all, how does your structure work, and how do you sleep at all?
Sure. We are a joint venture business between the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals, so they came together, as you said, really before, obviously, 2015, we broke ground to form this joint venture partnership, and they've been partners in arms throughout. So each had their respective elements that they're going to help design to fit their organizational needs. So there are differences from one side to the other, but collectively working with the city of West Palm Beach County, and the state of Florida.
Your background's in minor league baseball in a whole bunch of different places, including development, marketing. Tell everybody a little bit about how you came to be.
I was a student athlete, baseball player at the University of Illinois, was an economics major, and once I was told you're not good enough to stay on the field anymore, I found my way into the business side. I've been fortunate to start in minor league baseball in Jacksonville, AA team in the minor leagues with the Dodgers, and made my way to Daytona Beach with the Cubs, and a short stop at historic Dodgertown. working for Peter O'Malley for a time there at the old spring training facility.
Which is an amazing legacy to be working under as well, obviously.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, to hear all the grand stories and to see how they have found a way outside now of spring training to continue to operate, which, is partly, as we'll allude to probably later, that's part of our life that we'll have down here as well.
The Washington market embracing this deal, the Houston market as well. Washington was looking for a home, Montreal Expos, Vieira, and all of that. How did that all shake out?
Well, as much as Palm Beach County was about recruiting 2 more teams in, it was also about saving baseball on the east coast of Florida. The teams were at risk had those Washington Nationals decided to go elsewhere in the state that would have left only 3 teams here on the coast, which in fact could have allowed the Cardinals, the Mets, and the Marlins to move on as well. So it was not only about adding to baseball here in Palm Beach County, but also saving baseball as a whole from a spring training side.
What does it mean economically? Everybody glazes over when they see economic impact studies, and it's usually a fight to dispute the number, and by then everybody's too bored with it. What does it really mean as far as people in hotel rooms, people in restaurants, and how crowded this place will cause Palm Beach County to get?
I think once we get a better idea of even this first year, we'll know from a fan standpoint. But just organizationally, the Astros have publicly said that they've reserved almost 17,000 room nights just organizationally alone amongst players, coaches, and staff and personnel. So that doesn't even get to the fan base. And you can nearly double that on the Astros side, and there's more economic development coming. The Astros ownership has actually invested in a building that they're going to turn into a hotel here probably over the next year and a half.
So it's not just a case of helping the baseball operation, but there is a real estate development play here as well.
Absolutely. 2 very smart ownerships, a breadth of businesses under that portfolio, and the real estate here in Palm Beach County, it's an area that continues to grow and offer more, both from a business side, a sports tourism side, and I think our owners both and the teams are going to be at the head of that.
Well, when you look at Forbes, the Nationals are 9th, and people always dispute the numbers until the numbers look good, then they don't. But the Nationals were said to be 9th at $1.3 billion. The Astros right behind, 1.1 billion. Clearly both over the $1 billion threshold. But to add a real estate portfolio and solve your spring training instability also adds to the value of franchises, I assume, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a 30-year commitment here. It's a great market in Palm Beach County and West Palm Beach, and so it's only going to further the value of those organizations from an on-field standpoint to probably an off-the-field as well.
Well, on-field, off-field, interesting dynamics here, and we'll walk around a little bit also, but this building seems to have incorporated the best of the Cactus League, the 360-degree walk, the best of what's called the Grapefruit League here in Florida. Talk a little bit about the concept behind this building.
Yeah, it's an HKS Architects design, and they are responsible for 2 of the newer facilities out in Arizona, Camelback Ranch and Salt River Fields as well. So they absolutely implemented, some old Florida with some new modern sleek elements of design, even down to the seats being all blue. It's away from the stadium green, but we've got some art in public places here just beyond us that represents both baseball and palm trees, and it really has just been a fun design, one we're still learning because we haven't had a lot of time in the facility, but I think pretty well thought out.
And so were there issues that were tweaks that like one team wanted more than others? Commitment, 6 practice fields each. One of them at least had to be the dimensions of Minute Maid and Nationals Park respectively. What are some of the trade-off issues as you saw it over the last
player development. They each have their own priorities and the way that they're directing their organizations. And so I think it's in the training and the health elements that you see probably a few of the differences. The way their weight rooms are set up, the way their hydrotherapy is set up. The Nationals, in fact, have an outdoor pool that's strictly there for resistance training, easing the joints, where the Astros have a higher level customized hydrotherapy inside. So just differences in that way, in the way they laid it out, and the way their players intermingle. Some are a little bit more separated. Some have areas where it's minor and major both, and they want that influence coming from the top.
Without getting into specific skirmishes in the boardroom, but this is a business show, as you allocate the dollars, and there is this understanding of 50-50, are you a referee with the flag saying you spend 27 cents more than the other? How does that all work?
No, I stay out of all refereeing business, absolutely. No, the teams have been great partners with one another, like I said, along with the county and the city and the state. And, it took a lot just to get this place open by February 28th. You mentioned the short timeline right from the get-go. So it's been a collective effort, not excluding as well all the construction companies involved.
There is a legacy of shared facilities as well. The Giants and Jets did it from day one, and the only seeming lack of harmony is when do you push the blue light for the Giants and the red light and the green light for the Jets. A lot more complicated than that. HKS is designing the building in L.A. where it's basically a Rams building and the Chargers are coming in. Mm-hmm. What advice do you have for that world, having just gone through the sharing aspect of this?
I don't know that I would have any advice. I mean, it's, again, keeping in mind that in our case it was shared. Like you said, it was equal, and I think the teams approached it that. Yeah. As you speak to the NFL scenario, that's going to be all about the Rams, and, as the tenant that the Chargers become, they will, hopefully find it and make it their own home, but I'm sure they're going to feel like a tenant to some degree.
Well, that's a good point, because a lot of it, I assume, feels like personal relationships, and at some point, the owners have to be able to drink together, say hi together, and resolve any issues together. I assume the more comfortable they are with each other, the less issues there are down the line.
Absolutely. I mean, they have a harmonious relationship and needed it, because in the end, the goal is to get to the World Series and have a championship team. And it's great in our case that we have an American League team in the Astros and a National League team with the Nationals. So hopefully at some point we're the home of two World Series teams even in the same year. But it's them coming together to put their best practices and both take a big step forward for both their organizations are what's going to lead to that.
By the way, I played golf with Brady some. He hits the ball about 800 yards. One of the things that was interesting when he was just looking here, he was looking at me, and obviously this is important. He was looking right past me because there was something that caught, I don't know what caught your eye, but it was like, is there something on the checklist that's going on here? Well, hey, he's 24/7, man.
We're all still working.
Yeah, of course you're still working.
Tired of calls, levies, and liens from the IRS, or hiring others who don't get the job done? Call Wall & Associates, and you'll never talk to the IRS again. The IRS has a program to eliminate tax debt, and Wall & Associates professionals are trained to maximize its benefits for you. You always speak with a live person with real support and real knowledge. We've helped thousands of taxpayers like you settle their tax debt with the IRS for a fraction of what they owe. We solve tax problems. Call Wall & Associates now, 800-480-5708. We have the professionals who know how to solve tax problems. If you owe money to the IRS, your tax problems are not going away by themselves, and the passage of time will only make matters worse. Act now, before it's too late. Call Wall & Associates right now to speak to a professional tax relief agent. Call 800-480-5708. That's 800-480-5708. Again, 800-480-5708.
Hey there, did you know that with a bachelor's degree, on average, you could make almost twice as much over a lifetime than a person with just a high school diploma? It's true. According to the 2012 U.S. Census Bureau, college grads with a bachelor's degree make almost twice as much as high school grads. Now, going back to school is easier than ever at Independence University. Log on and complete coursework from the park, or the beach, or even your couch watching the kids. And Independence University gives you the tools, a free tablet and laptop for undergrad students to use and keep when they graduate. That's right. Get a laptop so you can go to college from anywhere. Take the first step to a new career in business, information technology, healthcare, or graphic arts. Call to find the online degree program that's right for you, and you could be on your way to increasing your earning potential.
800-797-1256. 800-797-1256. That's 800-797-1256.
This family is at home, but they won't be answering the door. They know that the pounding on the door is a process server from the court waiting to hand them foreclosure documents. So instead of enjoying the home they worked so hard to afford, they sit hiding in the dark.
Mom, what was that?
But it doesn't have to be this way. This family can save their home, but they must act fast. Call Allied State Foreclosure Solutions at 800-274-7312. If you're being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, missed a payment on your mortgage, been a victim of a predatory loan, or are upside down on your home, it's critical that you call Allied State Foreclosure Solutions now. 800-274-7312. Allied State Foreclosure Solutions has an attorney in your area that will meet and speak with you. You can stop the foreclosure
foreclosure process, lower your monthly mortgage payments, save your home and your credit. But you must act now. Call 800-274-7312. 800-274-7312. Not available in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson.
Give me an idea, given your varied background, of what kind of skills are necessary for your job. Is it economist, developer, construction manager, psychiatrist? There are a lot of issues.
A little bit. This year, I learned a lot about construction, but it's still definitely a fly on the wall in that element. I mean, for our staff, it was all about getting out in the community, creating those partnerships from a business standpoint, sponsorship, ticket outreach, trying to build a fan base to get this thing up and off the ground, and really putting our focus towards all of that more than anything. But we had definitely some influence. So we saw operationally things that maybe didn't fit from what was either design or construction side to make it the best fan experience we could.
On the facility side, then we'll take a walk around here. The idea of the economic impact and what it does to justify. The good thing about a facility like this is hotel tax, tourist tax. There is definitely a link between this kind of facility and increased hotel room occupancy. Mm-hmm. So there's some kind of connection between the public source and the dollars generated.
Sure, absolutely. Well, and again, the public source is not our immediate public. It is that bed tax, that tourism dollar. So it becomes cyclical. We drive more tourists, they continue to pay the bed tax, and then they go back home to their respective areas, but their dollars stay behind. And I would include, too, the teams, the Astros and the Nationals, are making the single biggest investment back into a spring training facility of any major league organization. So they're here for a 30-year commitment, and they're absolutely putting their dollar into this great facility as well.
The facility itself, we've got a number of acres, but you've got a 12-acre public park planned, a 1.8-mile walking track. But the baseball aspect of this is interesting because just down the road, you have two Florida State League minor league teams, one with the Marlins and one with the Cardinals. You don't have that here, but how do you turn that into an advantage here?
It gives us an open template. So we've got a great sports commission here in Palm Beach County. Again, the background that I was able to have, I guess, at historic Dodgertown, where today they operate as an amateur sports destination. That's exactly what we're going to do. And the very first event we were able to book brought together ballpark of the Palm Beaches, Roger Dean Stadium, in fact, Tradition Field where the Mets are, and another community park. And we've got a 280-team high school tournament coming in June when the hotels are hungry for room nights, and that should amount to about 5,000 room nights over about a 6-day period.
You're going to kill me for this question, but I can run faster than you, I think, after being downtrodden. So are you still a Cub fan?
There's still a warm spot in my heart, definitely, for the Cubs, but obviously, Nationals and Astros, we want to see some World Series appearances here as well.
Well, and obviously it's a company line, and the ownership is great and everything, but the guy's a Cub fan, and there's a certain synergy with people who haven't won for, 378 years? It's over.
108, which is exactly how many seams there are on a baseball. That was, I think, the best stat I heard.
That was the greatest stat, and there are a lot of those coming out of the woodwork. The other interesting stat, and then we'll go, is there were football talks about parity and how important that is. When you look at the stats, there were 24 playoff teams in the last 5 years, 24 different ones, the most in baseball history, and there have been now 16 years without a repeat World Series champion. Helps with competition, doesn't it?
It does. That's what spring training is all about. Everybody starts with a 0-0 record, and it's nice knowing where you don't find that in some of the other sports. When you have a 0-0 record, you actually do still have a chance in a lot of cases.
How about the idea of the Nationals and the Astros in the World Series? Wouldn't that be cool?
As I said, as the home of both, I think there couldn't be a better bragging rights that we could have. So we'd love to have that feather in our cap.
So 30 seconds on why each team is going to play well this year.
I think, one, they made some adjustments in the off season. Both made some moves for some veteran guys. The Astros picked up Carlos Beltran, who's been there, done that in the playoffs, is just about as good as anybody offensively. But they both have great young talent as well, from the Harpers and the Strasburgs and the Scherzers, and a Trey Turner on the national side to Correa and Altuve up the middle, and Bregman. So we're missing some of these guys now with the World Baseball Classic. So it tells you there's top-tier talent from all over the world on these two teams.
The guy knows his baseball, obviously, well. You heard him. He played baseball at Illinois. You're an infielder, right?
Outfield.
Center field?
A little bit of center, a little bit of right. Left-handed.
Couldn't hit a curveball?
Change-up. Couldn't hit the change-up. Didn't wait long enough.
Yeah, you know why? That's right. And it helps him in construction because he's got a 30,000-item punch list. He's going to do it now. And he's going to swing now. He's going to do it now. All right, let's walk around a little bit.
All right, sounds good.
We'll keep it going. So Reed Weber and Mark Yasek are our executive producers extraordinaire. If you feel the camera like earthquaked, it's because Reed will have fallen over himself as he's walking backward. But these were our guys from MIT, ladies and gentlemen, and we have decided to keep them as permanent members of our production team, notwithstanding the fact that they're wearing University of Miami green today. So that's okay. So we're up here at the party deck down the right field line. Give us an idea of what you're planning to have, and there's another one down left field line, right?
Correct. We have 6 suites and 2 party decks here, so it's a great opportunity to do group and company hospitality. So typically we'll have groups anywhere from 40 to 80 people up here. Nice all-you-can-eat type menu, and you saw from the seats we just had, you're overlooking the field with a food and drink rail. It's just been phenomenal from a service standpoint.
Yeah, and you can see it. The berm is over there. You probably can't pan. Come over here for a minute. Just want to kind of give people a perspective before we start walking. And Reed, look. So the berm is a standard fixture around a lot of spring training, right? But your berm here has 1,200 spaces. I guess that's for slim people, maybe 800 for fat people. But it's all the way around. Has it been used pretty
Absolutely.
much?
I mean, to me, that's a rite of passage for spring training. You see some folks out there, and we got some patio furniture, in fact, underneath the video board. And the only complaint there is we don't have enough of it. Everybody loves to sit in a ball game in a lounge chair.
So get here early.
Yeah, absolutely. The banana boat lawn's been a great piece, and you can see kids chasing home run balls and playing a little catch. So it's the epitome of spring training, in my opinion, is to have that berm type.
Well, here's the other perspective from the Arizona side. You're panning around and can see that white walkway all the way across. That is a standard HKS-driven Cactus League 360, but Florida hadn't had that here. Was that your idea to help put that together?
No, I can't claim credit for that, but it's a great asset. I mean, it's something that fans have enjoyed. If you can't see the game in our ballpark, then you're basically not in the ballpark. Yeah. Because with the walk-around concourse, even if you're in line for food and drink, you can see the ball game.
When is the spring break in Palm Beach County?
20th through the 24th, so we'll see an influx of kids and young people absolutely during that time.
That'll be great. All right, sorry to interrupt you with the tour. This is my show. I get to call what I want to do.
Somehow you do that when it's not on your show.
Thank you very much for that personality insight, ladies and gentlemen. Which way are we going?
We'll go down the steps probably, get a little,
okay.
So we'll see how the camera does there.
Read
backwards.
People who are worse athletes than you purport to be.
We do have a railing, so use it.
Yeah. There you go. Did you sign the waiver beforehand relative to... yeah, okay. Do you miss your golf games now? So when was the last time you had a good night, turn off the phone, sleep?
Before I took the position?
Yeah. No, seriously.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been, it's been a fast and furious. Absolutely. Couldn't have been a more valuable experience. To be a part of something opening up. When I started, there was 3 retaining walls here. So there was already work well in advance of myself. But when I came here, it was piles of dirt and like I said, retaining walls.
And just to give people a little bit of history, even before Brady got here, this is called the 45th Street site on Haverhill Road. This was an amazing kind of ground zero for things that never happened. The Orioles came here for a little while for spring training ideas. There were a lot of other people who wanted to build everything under the sun over here, and it really took guts and a land swap deal and a lot of things that would happen to get this site ready. Perfect site for West Palm Beach and spring training. And also, there were some radioactive or at least land clearing issues, right? I mean,
not radioactive, but it was a closed.
Excuse me, not radioactive. It wasn't. No, don't worry about that.
It was a closed landfill that closed back in 1994, and it was just tires and iron and trees. So it was just really a desolate, unused space of 160 acres, just off the highway and not really
close to
not really out of town.
Right.
And so what a great function now to have all this with the ball fields and, like I said, from the economic impact side to the city park that you kind of mentioned that's going to come about here in the next couple months as a quality of life element to the immediate community.
Yeah. All right. What else do you want to show us?
Well, just, again, the kind of the berm element, or not the berm, but the concourse, this walk that you have as a fan, you can see how wide our concourses are. I mean, even if we have long lines for concessions, you got plenty of space to maneuver. But again, it's just this open bowl. Again, the navy blue seats, common color of the two teams, so even they had compromised. It's not like we have stadium green or we don't have an orange half or a red half.
I think the blue is a little more Astro blue than National blue. Rick, don't get me in trouble, man.
No, I think it's all come together
harmonious.
pretty nice. But even if you span around just to the rest of the seating bowl, I mean, you can see how open it is. There's a piece off in the distance over Rick's right shoulder. You can see a bit of that art in public places. And, again, just there's elements of design that all went into this, very well thought out. Had a great breeze each and every day, I think, here. And it's just warm and inviting. I think we've had as many comments about, just how aesthetically pleasing it is. From the walk that you have as you come up, you park and you walk right through the Washington Nationals practice fields.
Yeah.
So you get that baseball experience really as soon as you get out of the car.
All about fan experience. Pan over to Palm Beach Golf Center, which will help nobody's putting, but at least the guys are here. And then Palm Beach Bistro. When you look at spring training, it is really something that's entirely different than regular season. This is totally for fan experience. I assume if you do the studies, fans come earlier, stay later, immerse themselves in a day at the ballpark.
They do, because so many of them are from out of the area or out of the country that, this is their voyage for whether it's a 3-day trip or longer than that. I mean, they're here to get a foul ball, get an autograph. It's the odd mix of minor league feel and major league feel, because you can get that close, intimate experience with some of the top players in the game, but you're doing it in stadiums that are 6,000 to 8,000, so that's great.
And unlike the shoehorning that you need in an urban 45,000 seat ballpark, which are beautiful in their own right, a little bit more land to play with, and hence the wider concourses. There really have been studies that talk about a comfortable fan who can walk around is going to spend more money, but it's also that's an enhanced fan experience, so he's going to come back.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-0906. 800-296-0906. 800-296-0906. That's 800-296-0906.
Yosemite Gold Country Lodge has been called by guests a hidden gem, a beautiful place, and a great place with down-home country charm. A stay at Yosemite Gold Country Lodge means that you'll be in the historical Gold District, close to Yosemite. In addition to complimentary Wi-Fi, each room is equipped with a fireplace, and you could take advantage of the spa tub and a complimentary continental breakfast. Call 209-878-3400. YGCLodge.com.
With the weather changing and plenty of sunshine heading our way, water sports seem to be on everyone's mind. For fun in the sun and water, 101 Surf Sports, located in San Rafael, is your destination. Honored as being the nation's #1 stand-up paddleboard shop by the action water sports industry, 101 teaches stand-up paddling, kayaking, windsurfing, kiteboarding, and surfing. Plus, you can rent or buy any equipment you need for your favorite water sport activity. Google 101surfsports.com or call 415-524-8492.
Nobody really needs or wants home security until it's too late. You've heard the statistics about how many burglaries there are per day. You see the news. You know there are people out there that do bad things. The best way to help protect your home and your property is with an ADT monitored system from Protect Your Home, an ADT authorized premier provider. Call right now to get a free wireless home security system valued at $850. An ADT monitored system can help protect your home from fires, theft, floods, and call for emergency help. Call now to find out more about our $850 free wireless home security system and start enjoying the peace of mind of security today. Call 800-587-4281, 800-587-4281. 800-587-4281. This offer is for new customers only. Termination fees apply. $99 customer installation charge and 36-month monitoring agreement required. All for details. License terms and conditions available at secureathome.com.
And like I said, even if you had the highest dollar seat in the place, I think each and every one would probably make a lap around the facility, because it's to gain it from different vantage points beyond our right field area. You have a great overlook towards the Astros practice fields, in fact, over there. So, even when BP's not going on at times pregame, you can kind of see some of the action going on. So,
well, let's show me where you want to view the practice field. So
yeah,
we'll
make a little trek over here to the right field corner.
Good.
And it's a nice overlook, both to the bullpen. I don't think we have anybody from the Nationals maybe in the bullpen just yet. But again, it speaks to the close interaction that you get with the fans.
What input do you have from the Nationals and Astros staffs?
Quite a bit. I mean, they're committed and they're invested, absolutely. So, they were very much a part of the design elements in advance, and now that we're able to live the facility, we're continually making tweaks, here in this first year, and still some more things we need to do just to get complete as it is.
Did you do a best practices? Did you see all the Floridas and all the Arizonas yourself?
I did not personally. By the time I came on board, it was get to West Palm Beach and let's get going. But absolutely, the teams, they spent many a year doing their research, again, to kind of pick best practices from the newer facilities.
It's like other facility development around the country. HKS is a repository. There are other firms that do some of this stuff too. But every facility has 5 or 6 things that are improved on from the older facilities or different facilities, and they keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, it's, there's some great facilities that have come online, and I think a lot of teams at this point are pretty well committed, but you've seen in Florida especially, they're committed to their cities, but they're doing some major renovations to bring it up to par with, those that, like us, are as fortunate enough to have a new facility. We're coming up onto the right field walkway, so one, spinning to the camera's right, you're able to look right down into the Nationals bullpen here. And so here shortly the guys will be warming up. You can't get more intimate without being on the field practically than to have a view of Max Scherzer or Steven Strasburg or Tanner Roark, any of the best pitchers that the Nationals have, and all the guys here warming up throughout the game.
You can actually see the curveballs break, and in your case, the changeups that you couldn't hit. So
see the velocity here, to hear the pop, from this close is great. But standing in this very same position, if you just tilt on an axis, now we're over here looking at the Astros practice facility. So from this walkway bridge that continues on, there looks like they've cleaned up off of Field 5 here, but there's some fans out there. There's players jogging around. The minor league guys are out there each and every day on these practice fields.
So if you're an Astros fan, and they're away every day, the Nationals are home, right? There's one game basically a day.
At least one game a day, absolutely.
Yeah, and so if you want to follow the Astros, but you don't want to go to see their major league team play somewhere, can you come out here and kind of walk around and see their minor leaguers practice?
Absolutely, yeah. Facility's open, so we have some fans that are doing exactly that. They're diehard to their team, and they want to see the young guys and the old guys. So if the team's on the road, they're still coming out to get their Astros baseball or their Nationals.
Pan over to the berm for a second. Again, that's, thank you, Reed, that's 1,200 spaces, but if you look like a couple of those guys there, then it's maybe 950 spaces. Probably we shouldn't say that, but it would be a perfect world if you get there early and you squeeze in and it's a tough ticket. And I'm sure you're going to test a little bit of that during spring break.
Yeah, I think absolutely. We've got the Yankees coming in. We have a very good schedule here this year, so that'll be one that absolutely tested as well.
Haverhill Road, that way?
To our west, yep.
Yeah.
So looking right over the field to the third base side, just to the main gate. And
to the north is 45th Street. Mm-hmm. Across the main gate, which people don't know, but if you're a Floridian, there is still kind of non-developed to the west side of Haverhill.
Yeah, there's a business park over there, but there's some spaces that we can continue growth, and we hope that this is a catalyst for more things. But to our immediate community, we've heard great things that already for their property values, that they're thrilled to have this kind of new community landmark in their immediate community.
And as a guy who actually stepped on all the trash that Brady was talking about when 20 years ago people were looking at what to do with that facility, this is marvelous, and there will be a whole generation that doesn't remember what that used to be, which is good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Absolutely.
Where's our marketing guy?
Ben, we can track him down, get him over here.
Okay, deal. Good. Let's find him and we'll hand it over to him. I know you've got some very important stuff to do today, like you always do. So
We have to fill.
yeah, good. Okay. So we're getting somebody from a marketing perspective as well. And it really gives us some time to talk a little bit about the business of baseball from spring training. Years ago, Marlins weren't in existence. The Baltimore Orioles were training in Miami. The New York Yankees were training in Fort Lauderdale. But now take a look at some of the other numbers. The Yankees' value, again, according to Forbes, about $3.4 billion. But again, why is baseball so successful today on a general context? Well, first of all, they have enlightened ownership like Mr. Crane and Mr. Lerner of the two teams here. The business aspect dominates. There is a true partnership. The revenue is at $12-14 billion. A couple of other reasons. Parity. 24 teams have made the playoffs in the last 5 years, which is the most of any sport. Clearly, we were talking about that before. The Cubs may be a dynasty, but that's my conversation. But the bottom line is over the last 16 years, there have been 16 different teams. So any given season, these teams or anybody else can end up in the World Series. $8 billion in revenue from television, $3 billion plus local and national. Major League Baseball advanced media. Bob Bowman, we interviewed, and you'll hear him in the next couple of weeks. A $10 billion valuation with $400 million operating revenue. Major League Baseball advanced media is interesting. There are 30 teams, 30 balance sheets, but on the internet side, they all come together as one to try to sell streaming and other things that you can do only collectively. From an international perspective, 170 countries and 13 languages from last year's All-Star game, 238 players born outside the U.S. on opening day rosters, the World Baseball Classic and the Olympics we've talked about before. And maybe the biggest issue is always that Major League Baseball went from strikes, lockouts, canceling World Series to an unprecedented era of labor peace. 127 Major League Baseball players earn $10 million a year or more. Average salaries at $4.4 million. The only issue that some people would say needs a little bit of help, the Yankees payroll opening day 2016, $223 million. $57 million for the Rays. Within those is a lot of room to maneuver. It's not to say that you can't get to a series or otherwise with a low payroll. It's just that it's a lot easier if you have a lot of money. You can afford some mistakes. You've got like Zach Greinke and Price and Trout and Pujols and Stanton making over $30 million a year. So the superstars really have dollars and a tremendous promotional and marketing investment involved in this. But a team or the league is no stronger than its weakest link. And the bottom line here is you built a solid foundation from which to build. And the whole issue is how do you market a facility like this, and how do you develop a long-term support mechanism for a facility like this? And also Palm Beach County went from really at risk with clauses in all of their leases that if they didn't have a critical mass of 4 or more, any of them could have left. So the Nationals were on the verge, as were the Mets, as were the Marlins and the Cardinals. Now you have 4 teams, the Cardinals, the Marlins, the Astros, and the Nationals, all committed. The Mets just up the road, and this will be a pocket of spring training for years to come, bringing back evoking the history of 1927 and before. But now we're going to talk about marketing this building, and we're going to talk about how it's being done. How far? Good. Okay. So, interesting weather day. Has it rained? Since the? Well, but you didn't play last night.
No, it came right after the game.
Seriously?
Yeah, we got dumped on.
So you actually have control over the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. By the way, Brady Ballard, ladies and gentlemen, he does not make enough money. And so, oh, Rick, don't say that, okay? So actually what he's been doing, and then we'll get this the marketing piece done, is deliberately holding the marketing guy until I actually said he's not making enough money. So are you having fun?
We are.
Yeah.
We're, like I said, 31 games in 30 days, wears on everybody along with the construction, bringing up this. We've got a hard-working group, and Ben will be able to get to that on the marketing side, how he's been able to push it here, how intense it's been just to get this place off.
Before Ben gets here, and I know he's here right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ben. Yeah.
Ben.
Good to see you, man. Nice to see you. Before you give up the mic, what's next for you? What are you doing after this? Not like having lunch today, but what's next
Tomorrow's
for your career?
game or the next game?
What is next in the rapid meteoric rise of Brady Ballard?
I have a kid on the way, so I think any meteoric rise just
goes the other way.
Yeah, it's done. Right. I'm done.
Right. and I will tell you before we get Ben in here. Ben, you've been working with Brady for how long? For a while?
Since July, yeah.
Yeah, well, you take this and then step in here. But yeah. We're going to take a picture, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay.
But I just want everybody to understand that the first time I met him, vibrant, 300 yards off the tee. Now those raccoon, like deep-set eyes. And once the kid comes, out of pocket.
Yeah.
I'll see you a little later, man.
Golf game's going to struggle.
Thank you, man. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Are we live right now?
We're live right now.
Excellent.
Facebook
Good.
For millions and millions of people.
Can't wait.
And so Brady guaranteed a World Series appearance for the Nationals. What do you think?
That's not a bad guarantee. They got a really nice squad.
Yeah, he didn't make it, but that's all right.
Pitching and hitting, they're really well suited for a run. One of the favorites in the preseason.
Brad Walter, marketing guru, capital M, capital G, of all of Major League Baseball,
It's
certainly
high praise.
here.
It's high praise.
Yeah, well,
Thank
it's
you.
deserved because you've done a really good job opening this place. We were just talking about the marketing perspective of Major League Baseball. If you had to wave a magic wand, what's the one thing as a marketing expert you would do to improve on what is already a great product and marketing of it?
Nothing coming this way.
Yeah.
It's hard to. I don't know if you can wave a magic wand and make some type of change. I mean, it's a great it's a great product. I mean, TV numbers have been good. We just had one of the best World Series
ever. Right.
I mean, and coming off that, you got to look at making some tweaks here or there, but that's the product you want at the end of the season. That's what they're shooting for, and you get it. So you're doing something right. So those guys up at headquarters, they're smart. They want to tweak a few things. They'll make those adjustments, but it was great.
As we look at pace of play, which is being wrapped into a marketing issue, I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Mm-hmm.
What's your stance on all that?
Buy another beer.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
It'll get you through it. It's part of baseball.
Right.
I mean, look at golf. You're familiar with golf. Golfer's a slower moving game. I mean, but hey, you sit back, you enjoy, and you watch it. It's not high impact, high intensity. I mean, some plays are, but it's not the NFL.
Right.
It's baseball.
Right. And baseball has a different perspective if it's done right. It's that if I want to enjoy somebody's company, I'll go to a baseball game and I'll sit with them.
Sure.
You know, if I want to do something else, you go to a different kind of game. And that fan experience, I would argue, is even more important than the other major sports because it's really built on a social fabric that other sports probably don't have. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, you come down, you sit down, you got space, you got a comfortable seat. It's a great place to bring clients or prospects. Great place to bring your family. I mean, baseball can never lose that moniker of America's pastime. I mean, it still is.
Yep.
Are you an inventor who would like to try to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to companies, but you don't know what to do next? Call for free information from InventHelp. InventHelp, a leading inventor service company, has been helping inventors since 1984 and has sales offices located in more than 60 cities nationwide. You'll want to talk to the company that has helped secure more than 7,000 invention patents. So call InventHelp. Even if you have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll still want to call InventHelp for free information. You'll find out how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to companies. So call now.
Call InventHelp at 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. Get your free information by dialing 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. 1-800-316-1738. Are you a business owner or an individual who owes the IRS? Then be prepared to write down an important phone number. Do you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes? Do you need to file back tax returns? Are you dealing with bank levies and wage garnishments? It's time to deal with your IRS problem today. Call Certified Tax Representation now. Certified Tax Representation, Inc. represents clients just like you in all 50 states. They will contact the IRS on your behalf the same day that you become a client, and you can become a client immediately. It's time for you to face your IRS problems. Think about how great you're going to feel when you're represented by a company who's an advocate for you, who knows the law, who also will contact the IRS the same day you become a client. Call today for your free, no-obligation consultation. Call now, 1-800-999-1064. That's 1-800-999-1064. Not all cases are typical, and some may not qualify. The consultation is free, and so is the call, so call right now. 1-800-999-1064. That's 1-800-999-1064.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. Back to Rick as he wraps up his take on MLB spring training and more all across the $3 trillion sports business. Here's Rick.
So what's this place look like? And hard question. This place look like, and what's baseball in general, from your perspective, look like 5 years from
now? We hope to get more and more fans in the seats. I know here, people are just getting familiar with it. They're just coming. I think word of mouth has been strong. Everybody who's come through here has said what a fabulous experience that they have had, and I think it's only going to attract more fans. I mean, and hey, good teams are going to bring people into the stadium, and I think the Astros and Nationals, two of baseball's best and brightest. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Go sell.
Yes.
Go get out of here. Go sell.
All right,
okay. Thanks. Let me give you guys some perspective just to wrap up. We've had an inside look at a facility, but this is not just about the Washington Nationals and the Houston Astros, nor is it just about baseball. In many ways, it's about the dreaded word of decouching. All the owners in all these sports talk about how important it is to get people off the couch, maximize the fan experience. Yeah, they'll watch TV, and it's a good product, but to get them out here. And when you look at this kind of facility, wider concourses, fan experience, picnic areas, practice facilities out here, a whole bunch of different pricing dynamics, from the suites to the expensive seats to the berm of 1,200 people / 600 people to the walkway. It gives you a broad perspective on how to make sure people come to a sports and entertainment facilities and stay there. Kudos to HKS for actually doing it. Kudos to the Nationals and the Astros for being so consensus-oriented in their approach. When you build a $150 million house and you're both equal owners, I'm not sure everything goes well. A lot of times it leads to divorce. Certainly doesn't here. And frankly, it sets a high standard for all of Major League Baseball and, frankly, all other sports as we move into the next year. As a Cub fan, after looking at this place, I can honestly, seriously, and not gratuitously